Welcome, 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 beautiful people. Please let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me okay. Give me a heart. And thank you. Please comment. Please let me know where you're channeling from, where you're tuning in from. Hello, Lynn. I'm seeing the comments coming through. I'm seeing your hearts as well. Perfect. Carolyn, amazing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Settle in. Welcome to my sacred space. I'm so excited to go live and share some really beautiful transmission that is coming through for all of us here today. So your participation is truly profoundly important because it is literally your presence is creating the sacred geometry of this very event that is unfolding with all of us here. So this is why when you walk into a space, things start to change and things start to transmute and things start to unfold. Literally, it's a field that's unfolding because of your presence. So let's bring our full presence, bring our full intention, and let's dive in here today. And I really am coming in here knowing that this is going to be of the highest service for the highest good of all. So I'm very, very excited to get started. So Abby, good morning from Ohio. Carolyn, amazing from New Orleans. All right. Okay, I'm just gonna turn the music down a little bit so that we can all have a beautiful time here and you can hear me properly. All right, beautiful ones. So let's take a moment here together and let's connect in the field. We're coming into this beautiful shimmering diamond lit field together. If you would like to join me and close your eyes, if you're safe to do so, of course, please do so. If you are driving or walking or in a motion, please don't do that, but you can always tune into your heart and simply envision your heart opening up and allow yourself to connect with the presence that is right here for all of us to tune into. This presence that is fully aligned with the divinity within you. It is the numinous space, the void where everything began, and it is all there is, all at once. As you open your heart to tune into this divine presence, really deepen into this space and feel the light that is like a geyser, like a spring coming forth, pouring forth. It's like frothing, actually. I can feel it. And even the way I speak, I'm just gonna hold that back. It's frothing forward from the very depth of your heart. From the mysterious chamber within your heart is frothing forward this beautiful light. And simply allow that to flood through your entire being. Let that loosen any tension that's in your body. If you feel anything coming up in your body, simply give it a big squeeze, an inner squeeze, like you're hugging it from the inside, and breathe into it. And exhale, let it be taken by this frothing light that we're just exalting in right now together. Let it flood through, let it go through all your joints, your shoulder joints, down your shoulder blades, down through the spine, all the way into the hip joints. Let your pelvic bones open. Let your knees open, knee joints are loosened, releasing your ankle joints. Allow the light to flood through And allow yourself to drop your tailbone down and be held by the Great Mother Divine, the Earth Goddess herself. As you do so, you can sense a rising from beneath, a rising that inevitably happens when we allow, when we surrender our protective personality and simply allow a movement at the higher level to begin to be felt. It is always happening for us. We're simply training the mind right now to really become aware of this. So you will feel it rising up as you breathe deeply into the space beneath your navel. Breathe in. Breathe in deeper so that you're opening the solar plexus up. You're expanding the belly. Let the belly expand. And exhale all the way down to earth. Curve your spine. So much so that you can feel the tailbone going down and your sacrum opening up as you release, curve. And you're going to breathe in from beneath you, drink in the nectar of Mother Earth all the way up your spine. So it's a reverse breathing technique. So what that means is as you inhale, your navel is going to be pulled towards the spine. So you're going in instead of breathing and expanding the belly. So inhale, let the light rise up, let the nectar rise up your spine, one after another. Relaxing your abdomen, relaxing your diaphragm on the front, but never leaving your attention from the spine all the way up, shoulder blades down, shoulders down. Let the light land at the base of your neck and let it rise up to the jade pillow, base of the skull. Let it rise up, roll your eyes up to trace and track the light all the way up to the center of your brain. Beautiful. And exhale. Exhale the light out powerfully into the celestial kingdom above you. That's right. Let your body rise up into the celestial kingdom together with that breath. All the way up. Let your astral body travel. Be the body that is watching the physical body from above. Revel, just revel in this cosmic impulse that is you. The nothingness that became something. The one that is created so that the cosmos, so that source, the divine, can be expressed, can live, can dream, can cry and laugh through you, this physical body. Just watch that from that divine gaze above. How does it feel to be the one that is the divine one again? Reveling in this human body that you're watching from above. How does that feel? I can sense a very blissful state. It's full of love, effervescence, sublime, starlight. And you can even see your human form looking up at you and waving. And you wave back, smiling, knowing that you are the one who is in quote unquote the future, but also always ever in the now, because time is only a man-made construct. So you are seated in the quantum field right now. Feel how that feels like in your body. Yeah. Let that be the chosen point that will come back to this moment here right now. Let that be the moment, and you can set that intention right here, right now. Let that expand. Let that feeling expand. Set the intention for what you desire to feel after this live session, after tuning out, after turning this device off. Let that be you. And right here, right now, there is a temple gate that appears before you. Open the gate and walk through the dewy path. And you can see the waterfalls. You can see the bamboo grove. You can see moss-covered stone, a beautiful Zen garden. And you're just going to pick a space, pick any place in this space, and you're just going to sit down and allow me to serve you some tea wisdom. Shall we begin? If it's a yes, you can slowly open your eyes with a beautiful smile on your face and come back into this space, and we can all come together and share a few cups, a few bowls of tea wisdom. Hearing the roaring waterfall in the background, maybe some cherry blossoms are already drifting down. Yes, sitting on the mountains, it's a beautiful feeling. Yeah. How's everyone feeling? That was so beautiful. I didn't want to come back. Well, we haven't quite finished yet. We're going to close the field out together so that we can seal and anchor in this new frequency standard together. Okay, so stay on. Let's do this together. Let's be here fully present, because I know, I understand there are lots of distractions, lots of responsibilities, lots of to-do, but let's simply be here today. Simply be here fully. Gift this to you, because you are and have always been sacred luxury. Nothing has ever changed. And this is a time for you to fully feel into what that feels like. What does that mean for you? Not given to you from me, because there are lots of informations out there. You know, we are in an era where it's simply so easy to find information. But it is the integration and the embodiment and your highest level of creation and experience that I am interested in. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this together. All right, so for today's story or topic or transmission, I would say it's a transmission more than anything else. I was feeling into how I would like to share this, and that came through, that meditation, that transmission came through very powerfully. So I want to just say that that was a vision that really was given to me after a ceremony with tea. And for all of you who are joining me for the first time, welcome. My name is Li Ying. I am a Cha Dao, or in English, the Way of Tea ceremonial keeper. I'm also a spiritual mentor who work with multidimensional women to truly co-create stillness within. And this is a stillness that is very much like a vortex, and I call it a vortex of stillness for a very good reason, because it is so still. But make no mistake, it is so still because there is so much movement. It's so quick that it looks like it is still. But this woman that you are gets to sit in the center of this vortex, and you know exactly what it feels like to be in alignment. You know exactly what it feels like to be out of alignment, and you will never, ever give way to the voices that say that you're not enough, or you're not doing good enough, or whether it's coming externally or internally. I'm here for all of this. We are here to release that conditioning. We are here to fully embody our divinity in the most royal and exquisite way, which is why I call it sacred luxury, and really live. Because no matter what purpose you chose to come here with, your unfolding is always and has always been meant to be super joyful, super fun, and truly, and I would say this with so much love, truly full of allowance for the mystery to grow as you, for you, and through you. And this mystery is something that feels very much like in the modern day, like, you know, okay, I left that person or that job. What's next? Or like, I need to leave this situation so badly, but I'm so afraid that it won't work out. What if I make the wrong decision? What if? And I'm here to really demystify some of these things. Let's just put it that way. I don't really quite like the word demystify, but I suppose as a modern day mystic, you will get what I'm saying when I say it is all here for us. You know, it's not something that's all the way out there. You know, source isn't somewhere out there. It's here. It lives as you, through you, and is you. And so I will bring forward this wisdom through Cha Dao, which is the way of tea. And for the ones who are new to this, the way of tea is a way of living in alignment with your true nature. And maybe right now you're thinking, I don't really even know what my true nature is. I'm here to really tell you from my experience so far as a divine being living a human experience, that true nature never changes. That true nature has always been very constant from the time when you were born until where you are right now. And sometimes it may take a while for you to go back and return to that true nature, because you know, we've got so many conditionings and societal norms that have been given to us that we've taken on. And on top of that, probably tons, years and years of ancestral stuff that we have flowing through our bloods. And we are really, we're carrying a collective unconsciousness within us too. So it's very important to have a means to sift through what is really yours and what is really not yours. And so today I want to specifically bring you into the power of tea, which is first and foremost always as a medicine to open your heart. And tea, in this way that I share in the lineage that I carry as the ceremonial keeper of Cha Dao, it is used in ceremony for meditation, for opening up portals, for creating a sacred geometry with the guest and the host together to really move into a place of what we call, or you may have known as the unified field, or I may call the vortex of stillness, or Dao. And if I have a book here, see if I have a book. I wanted to read this out to you if I can. But there is a beautiful book that I always love to read. And it is called the Tao Te Ching. So if you all want to, if you're finding this, you're curious and you're finding this really inspiring, I would highly recommend you pick up the Tao Te Ching. It's like a poetry, but it's not quite poetry, you know. And one of the things I love that it speaks of is less and less is done until nothing is left undone. And in the world that we live in today, it's quite radical to say that, right? Because oftentimes we think that in order to get what we want, in order to live the life that we want to live, we have to be, we have to do, go, continue to create. And all of those things are very much stifling your creativity. Frida, it's Tao Te Ching. You may know it in English as Tao Te Ching. So Taoteching. Yeah, it's by the great sage Lao Tzu. I prefer to spell it as Dao, Daodejing, but you might not find that as a popular way of saying it. But nevertheless, so yes, so I was speaking about, really coming into a place of striking a balance between coming to your own being, knowing exactly what you're here to do, knowing exactly what your true nature is, and not feeling apologetic for what you do not want to do not actually desire to have at all. And yet everyone else externally may think that it is what it means to be successful, it is what it means to be rich, it is what it means to be loving or lovable, all of the things. And this is really coming from a place of love and experience. And before I dive into that, I also want to ask if any one of you are feeling that way, please feel free to drop in. Oh, you're welcome, Frida. Please drop it into the comments and let's have a beautiful dialogue here, because I really want to come on this conversation. I want to have conversations where it is truly a place where we can have almost like a meditative state when we are speaking. So what it means is that we are here to witness, that we are here to observe non-judgmentally. What I am telling you is not what I want, I'm pushing on you to take. I'm asking you to go like, curious. I'm not saying this is the way. This is something I want you to open your heart up to and think, that's very interesting. I wonder why I felt that way when she said that. I wonder why I felt naturally inclined when she talked about that. Or I wonder why I hated it or I got triggered when she talked about that, So I want to create this space for these feelings, these topics to truly be witnessed, to truly have a place to be. And this is what I would love to call luxurious spaciousness for your transformation, for your alchemy, because alchemy can only happen when the human gets out of the way. And that is so important for anyone who is, anyone who holds huge spaces, who holds space at all, or have huge responsibilities, like tons of responsibilities, taking care of other people, or holding space for other people's emotions, holding space for other people's stuff. Whether you are a leader in your company, whether you are a CEO, whether you are a mother, a daughter who's taking care of your mother or your father, like whatever it is, I trust that you are hearing this because you're resonating with something here. And what I'm here to invite you to feel into is this heart-to-heart transmission with tea. And for those people who are, maybe you're curious, like, oh, what kind of tea? I will dive into that in a bit. The lineage that I carry is very much rooted in the Aboriginal Chinese tradition, the Taoist tradition specifically, and it's interwoven with the Buddhist, the Zen Buddhism lineage as well in the ceremonial aspects. So let's dive into, firstly, how can I embody the divine spirit of tea, which is harmony, tranquility, reverence, and purity, when I am in chaos? Let's just put it that way, right? Carolyn, I love that you're saying this. Yes, you're here with me, and everything you're saying is describing how I feel. All right, beauty. If you want to share a little bit more, please feel free to do so. And I will keep going, and then we can come back to the comments. All right. So if you feel into where we are right now, we're sitting next to the waterfalls, and we're in the temple grounds, and we're sharing bowls of hot, piping hot tea. You feel something coming up, like coming a flame, like something is lit up. And if you can only feel into this in a moment, just me holding a bowl to you, and you're receiving the bowl with two of your hands, and you're feeling the warmth, and you're putting it right here, right next to your heart. You can feel the bowl itself contains the entire cosmos. It contains billions and billions of years of your ancestry. It contains this one moment right now where you're sitting here with me, just the two of us. It contains the entire forest, the mountains, the starlight, the moonlight, the sunlight, the water, the river, the birds that are chirping, the grass, the pine trees, the bamboo groves. It is a forest as a whole. It is the water that just came from the cloud not so long ago. It is all elements all at once at the same time. This is why tea in ceremony has a unique transmission for each and every person who comes to receive her, because she is all elements all at once, which means that she can shape-shift her element to align with what medicine you need in the moment. What are you here to work through? Maybe you don't even know that, but she knows. Tea Spirit always knows. And I've spoken to, last week I had this beautiful session, beautiful ceremony activation with a divine client of mine. And I remember saying to her that, tea is like the mother divine. She refuses to let you stray. She's not going to let you play small, because she wants the highest good for you. And she can share her transmission with you over and over again, tirelessly, unconditionally. But ultimately, you are the only person, you are the only one here in the room, in this place, literally, in this celestial kingdom, to make the decision on what choice you desire to take. And that would mean, am I going to sit here and continue to be helpless and victimized by my circumstance? Or am I going to stay committed? Am I committed? Am I devoted to my destiny, to my purpose, to my inevitable rising? Because we are all divine royalty in human form. There is no separation, there is no exception. All of you are meant to remember that you are sacred luxury. The frequency of the sacred is luxury. And luxury can look different for every person. Why? Because you are all unique fractals of the divine. So different expressions, no one is ever the same. But the full reclamation, your claiming of the way you desire to live, has to be the first and foremost thing that you set. And this is what we call your frequency standard, because you want to set a standard in your life, knowing that as you anchor into this, and it is a process of mastery, of embodying that standard, right? Because there will be things that will come out in your experience that will help you to anchor deeper into it. And it may not be something that's pleasant. It may not be something that it's what you ordered from the universe, basically. But make no mistake, it is here for you. It's always here for you. There is only one of you here in the room, like I said, and that is you, the divine royalty that you are, the sacred luxury that you are. And so, coming back to receiving the transmission from T, we want to open ourselves up, because it is a sacred ceremony that is here to guide you into living a life of ceremony. And a life in ceremony is where you see with the gaze of the sacred, where you feel with the heart of the sacred, you cry with the tears of the sacred. Simply feel into these words. Don't just listen, but feel into, like, deeply listen to the frequency of my words. Because honestly, words are cheap. It's the frequency that you want to bathe yourself with. This is what I'm here doing right here, right now. Even if you can't hear me and maybe you've gone into a trance state, you are receiving the codes, you're receiving the frequency that I am emanating. And this is what it means to be embodied. Yeah? Because you can, there are so many times I've seen people who, share that this is my boundaries now. You are not going to cross the line, or like, I'm going to leave that job. I'm going to leave that relationship. And then they end up going back, or they end up meeting a new kind of people who are kind of the same, right? Who treat them the same. Why? Because they're not embodied. They're not embodied in that standard. They're not holding that standard. They're only talking about it. Talk is cheap. That's why I say talk is cheap. Everyone can say things. They can write the same things. They can plagiarize someone. They can do whatever they want. But the person that is fully embodied in that frequency is the one that everyone knows is their true nature, and they naturally are magnetized by it. They naturally gravitate towards it. And literally, I can see this, the field actually, as you anchor into it, the aura is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, it doesn't stop right there. You can say like, okay, I'm holding it, I'm maintaining it. It's not like that. It's actually expanding, and it continues to expand and expand and expand and expand. It's always expanding. The key is to remember that in the moment right before an expansion, there is always, can you guess it? Always a contraction. A contraction, just like the cosmos, the great mystery out there, when it expands, right before it expands, it has to inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. It's just like what we did together when we were rolled down like this. And this is you in the embryo, right? All rolled in. And when you were rising, you inhaled in. And when you rise and you're all risen, you exhale. And you can feel your aura widening. Yes? You are that cosmic 8. And when you actually know, and this is what we do deeply with tea, this is what we do in my mentorship spaces, by the way, we learn to direct our intention. We learn to direct our chi into expanding the reality that we desire to live. Yeah? So the real mastery here is really not to succumb to the illusions that are always around us. And sometimes the illusions are actually here to really escalate and accelerate our growth. Remember, nothing is a bad thing that's happening to you. You get to pivot very quickly. You are not meant to stagnate in a situation. There is always chi supporting you to move through. So pausing here to just check in with the comments. Eliza, wow, your words and frequency resonate so much. First time here, popped in here, wouldn't have guessed my soul so needed to hear this. This is your divinity guiding you into this space. This is what, like, there are no coincidences in the world. This is why I really believe firmly. And OMG, I can see myself trying to maintain it. So trying is not embodied, yes? And it's not a bad thing you're trying because you have an intention here. So let's anchor this in, let's embody it, let's amplify it, let's deepen it actually. Let's deepen it so much that you literally become it. You are becoming it. And Abby is saying, I am so happy that I found this space. I am a tea lover for healing and I love making tea and I never considered it in ceremonial form. And I am so very curious and excited to be connected here with you. Perfect, Abby. This is a perfect space. When we work with tea in a ceremonial way, what we're doing is we're literally opening a portal into the wisdom that tea carries. And for those who have, I would say this, because I feel like every person who comes into a ceremony with me, or they come into a mentorship to work with me for a couple of months, and I do have a mentorship called Chadao for the multidimensional woman, and also Tea Mystic Collective, where you can just join as a membership, sign up for a year or join for a month and feel into the space. But what I'm going to say here is that you're actually tapping into, wisdom from time immemorial. From books, you can see that tea has been around for a long, long time. The Camellia sinensis, as we commonly have called it. And there are tea trees that have stood for longer than thousands of years. The Aborigines in Yunnan, they consider tea as their ancestors. They consider themselves born of tea trees. This is how far back we can go. And if we look at tea being produced the way it is today, of course, we have to be mindful of where we get our tea. In ceremony, the tea that I work with are very, very, they go through a very stringent selection process. So I only work with what we call living tea. They are pesticides and biochemical free, and they are what we consider ceremonial grade tea, and they come from tea trees. And these tea trees have ample space to grow upward and sideways. And when there's no biochemicals and irrigation of the soil, what that means is that these trees get to live freely. They get to live without codependency on other things to make them grow. And this comes from a loving relationship they have with the farmers, who are also the artisans who produce and finalize the leaves that we get to drink as tea, because they began as leaves from these trees, right? So when we receive the tea and we honor tea as a medicine, as it had once been honored as a medicine, yeah, it was used as it was used by shamans to cross through different realms. It was used by sages as they produced the legendary poetry and artwork. It was used by Chan monks, and then eventually the Japanese Zen monks, which now they have their own tea plant from the seed they got from China at that time. You can see that tea naturally loves being with humans. Tea loves being with humans. And this is why there is no barrier between the human and the spirit of tea. You don't have to, like ayahuasca, go on a cleanse or a diet or whatever to go into this space. You're literally working with her without any filter, and she works with you exactly the way it is needed in the moment. What that means is that as a ceremonial keeper, I don't even force my way through and tell you this is what you need or whatever. I don't. I allow I call it the third space, to open up so that the truth unveils itself, so that your true nature unveils itself. It's not something I direct to you. And I see this so often in the coaching industry. It's like people are telling you, you have to be this, you have to do that, you have to whatever. But what if you could tune into the true nature, the true essence of who you are, and you walk in alignment with that great Tao? And this brings me to the powerful element that we're sitting in right now on the 1st of April, the wood element. In Taoist alchemy, in Chinese medicine, the wood element of spring is all about growth. It's sprouting forward. It's like this geyser, this wellspring of purpose, of I'm ready, I'm committed, let's freaking go. Going upward, is shooting up. And our job as the divine in human form, as the one who knows what exactly we are here to create, as we surrender the ego. And when I say what we are here to create, I'm not saying your ego, you're not attached to the outcome. But what you know is that this is something that's like, I'm committed to having the best effing life ever. That's it. Let's put it that way, for example. Then you are directing the way the tree is growing. You see that? From seed to sprout to growth, it's always going to grow. The true nature of you, just like the tree, is to grow. But you get to direct where it grows. Is it growing like this? Or is it growing like this? Or you know what I mean? Yes. And where would you, like when you're in a Zen garden, you're like, I kind of like the branch that's slanted like this. Like this is the tree moving upward, guided by your Shen, which is the sun, the consciousness of who you are, the divine consciousness. Yeah. So when we align ourselves in a ceremony with tea, the tea always brings forward this powerful element of grounding us deeper and deeper. The roots are growing deeper. So you can imagine as the tea opens your heart, the roots are growing deeper and deeper. It's rooting you deeper into your womb space, into your root chakra, and deep below where you're seated. That is your chakra 10. That is your destiny. It's a complete mirror image of your sacred purpose, your true north. So as it does, it's also growing upward. That's why the heart hangs between heaven and earth. Yes, and you are the physical manifestation of this. You are the cosmic impulse. So as the crown of the tree grows and the roots grow deeper, we are receiving the divine mandates, we're receiving the visions, we're receiving the dreams, the desires, because desire is actually here to help us to grow. Yes. And at the same time, we are balancing it with the yin and the yang are all balanced and united as what we call the limitless Wuji. When we are in Wuji, it is the point of stillness where we can really open ourselves up to the limitless potential that's out there. That is the place where a new possibility is being born. And you must remember this. For new possibilities to be born, something about you has to die into that new possibility. This is so important because somehow along the way in modern society, we shirk from death, we shirk from release, we shirk from letting go or surrender because we're so afraid of losing control. The ego, rather not we, but the ego is so afraid of losing control. But when we deeply know, we are rooted in our knowing, when we know what it feels like, we're given that intuition step by step and we follow the guidance. Because here's the thing, and this is a great tip I'm going to give to you today. If you can see the entire lay of land of, okay, I'm going to get that outcome and it's going to look like this when I get there, and it's going to look exactly like this. I'm going to make sure I talk to that person in this way and she's going to talk back to me in that, it's the whole lay of the land is presented to you to get the outcome you want. It's quite likely that is created from your egoic mind, your protective personality, which is oftentimes trying to avoid bigger things that scares you. So, how do you know what's coming from your intuition? How do you know what it feels like to work as the divine? How do you know that you're creating as the divine in human form? Well, it's oftentimes step by step. And oftentimes you're like, huh? What? No. Really? No way. I can't do that. I mean, really? Really? Yes. That is your divinity speaking with you, okay? And it's oftentimes presented to you step by step. In your dreams, maybe when you're in ceremony, it's a transmission that you hear or you feel or you see in visions and visualization. But it's like this. It is never presented to you in a full scale and says to you, this is how it works. You can go do that right now. Because the divine cares about your free will. Everything the divine gives to you, there exists a core of free will. You get to choose. You get to choose to stay where you are, or you get to choose to take that freaking leap into the unknown and fly into the rainbow bath that is waiting for you. This is how it feels like to work as the divine, to create as the divine, to be expressed as the divine. And it's freaking amazing because now you're bliss. You are bliss embodied. And you're making connection constantly with the heart within the heart. You're making connection with that still point, that mysterious source, that wellspring of mystery that is bubbling forward, life, juiciness. This is the energy that drives the sacred union in the heart that births love. This is the explosive power that gives life force to the sprout to sprout forth and push through the seed and out from the earth. It gives life force to the power within to froth up like we just did. It gives that power when it seems impossible. It gives power to us when it seems impossible. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. And Abby, let's see, Liza saying, oh wow, need that in my life. So important to have the clean. Yes, and just to preface that as well, we're honoring tea in ceremony, and therefore we want to source what we can get in that moment. That's the best option. But we never turn away tea when it's given to us, even if we know that it's not from the quote-unquote cleanest source, because we are sitting in a space of non-judgment. And the reason why I upkeep this standard is because it is my standard. It is my frequency standard. So I'm not gonna judge someone who doesn't keep to that standard, but I definitely have a standard that I embody and I uphold. So that is why I use the tea that I use, okay? Abby, I am very interested in learning more. This feels so perfectly aligned with all the things I have been learning and working towards embodying. Perfect, Abby. Stark, I don't know how to leap, though I know I'm right at the precipice. I want it, but feel I don't know how. This is the perfect moment, Stark. This is the moment when you are being invited to surrender at Mystery's Gate. This is at Mystery's Gate. I have a mastermind that I run every year. We just wrapped that up. But at Mystery's Gate, you're standing right there and you're being asked to surrender. Yes, the explosive power of wood element it comes from the element before it, which is water. Water is required to nourish wood, right? And water, if you're not familiar with that, water is associated with the great mystery, the great the Queen Mother of the West, which governs the underworld, who governs rebirth and death, who is the one who gives out divine mandate in the celestial kingdom that we're sitting in right now. And it is oftentimes characterized by the dark goddess, because we have to die into our new possibility. There are things that no longer serve us right now for us to move into the next phase. And in order to move from that precipice, firstly, it begins with surrendering the ego that includes some form of certain kind of outcome that you have in mind. It doesn't mean that you don't do anything or don't wish for anything. Yes, it is Inanna. It can be Inanna, yes. It can be Sekhmet. It can be Kali. All of those gorgeous goddesses that that have been hidden for a long time and are really alive right now. So to return to that, when we surrender the ego, it doesn't mean that the ego is gone. The ego is still there, and it is part of who we are. We have to embrace that ego as part of who we are. So we move from the precipice with love, as love, because we are ultimately, the cosmos is vibrating at the frequency of love. This is why we remember the cosmos through the feeling of love. This is the love that is so full and unconditional. This is the love that, if you have trouble envisioning it, this is the love that feels like when you're hugging your favorite pet, when you're watching the sunrise, when you're watching the sunset, when you're standing by the ocean. It's that love, that great agape moment, like a grandmotherly love that tells you you're okay, you're good, you're always going to be okay. That is who you are. It's not just something you have, it's something that you are. So when we surrender the ego, and this is what we do deeply in the ceremony with tea, because tea has a very natural ability to do that. we are able to break away from the confines that may hinder the movement of a higher energy, something that is higher beyond us and is ultimately us. So we have to really come back to, what is it that I fear? And I'm not asking what it is, I'm asking, what am I feeling? Where is that fear? Where am I feeling the fear in my body? I don't need your story, I don't need the drama. I simply feel, and I'm right here to hug myself fully, completely from within. This moment right here needs the divinity within you to acknowledge that the ego or the protective personality has not gone anywhere. It simply has been embraced as part of the wholeness that you are. And then you get inspired. You follow the trail of inspiration, that new source of higher consciousness that is birthing within you. You bring that ego with you, show the ego how powerful that is. Let's go, let's do this, let's commit ourselves to this new possibility. And then you create that because you're fully aligned. You can't have your ego out here talking to you and you're going back and forth. You're fully aligned, mind, body, and soul. This is how you create at high level. Speed, light speed, everything happening all at once. Okay? Eliza, of course, you can definitely reach out to me, and you will see it on my profile. For anyone who is interested, feel free to check that out, or just send me a message. I'm happy to chat with you for sure, for sure. All right, my loves. Any questions before we come back in to seal out? We have to move out of the kingdom back into the body. But before that, any questions from the heart? Any questions coming from that deep listening within? Not from the mind, but here, right here. I'll take a moment and pause. All right. So if you would like to join me and close your eyes and come back to that place where the waterfalls are and cherry blossoms are blooming, petals are falling into our empty bowls now. I bow and thank you so much for sharing tea. And I show you the way out of the temple gates. And you walk through the very same dewy path, this time noticing how the stones have already dried, how the moss look so much paler than the first time you stepped through. As you walk out the gate, take a deep breath into your belly, expand the belly at the core of your navel and below the navel. Drink in the cosmic light that is all around you, from above, below, all around, into that space below the navel. Continue to bring the energy in. Sip some more breath in as much as you can. Hold your breath. Empty your arms, empty your legs, empty the mind all the way into this cauldron here. And exhale. Start to feel yourself drifting very slowly down into the crown of your physical body, through your third eye, down your throat, into your heart, into your solar plexus, into the wisdom center, your navel, deeper into the sacrum, tailbone, and into your perineum if you're seated. If you're standing, let it travel all the way down your legs, into the balls of your feet, and let Mother Earth be at one with your entire being. Loosen your face. Let the effervescence fill up your entire face. Let your third eye light up. Let your heart light up. Let the lower dantian below the navel light up and join the three lights together. Open your eyes. Open your eyes to a new reality, seeing as the sacred. Everything you are going to experience from here on out is going to be very sacred. And so it is, so it is, so it is. Thank you so much. Thank you, Stark. Thank you, Lynn, Caroline, or Carolyn. Let me know. Abby, thank you. Thank you so much to everyone who's donated. Thank you so much to everyone who are here. Your presence is very, very, very appreciated. And if you desire to dive deeper into any mentorship spaces with me, you're very welcome to drop me a message and we can have a little chat. I've got a couple of beautiful things that are open right now, whether it is to work one-to-one or in a group space. And I'm so excited to have you. Thank you, Maisha. Thank you, Stark. Thank you, everyone else who haven't really popped up on my comments. I know I feel you here. So much love. Ooh, Becky, thank you, my love. Thank you for your presence. All right, beauties. I will end here for today. And I will see you very, very soon. Lots of love.